What's happening, YouTube? In today's video, we're going to be detailing my girl's 2010 Honda Pilot. It has 160,000 miles on it, and we're going to make it look brand new. All right, I'm going to break this video down into 4 separate parts. The first part, we're just going to degrease the engine, we're going to wash it, and we're going to do the wheels. The second part is just going to be about the whole interior. We're going to do the front, the rear, and then the cargo area. In the third video, we're going to be clay barring the car, compounding heavy scratches, and then we're just going to put a coat of wax on her, and that should be good enough. And then in the fourth video, we're going to be deoxidizing these headlights. I'm going to show you how to do it all. Stick around. We're going to degrease the motor here first. I have some degreaser and a pressurized container. We're going to spray it on here. I got a long brush and a short brush. The long brush I'm going to do under the hood. The short brush I'm going to get the cladding and all of the trim under the motor. Just spray it on like so. Get down in here. Get all the trim pieces. Now normally I wouldn't do this to other cars because they don't have all the trim, but everything's covered up on this car. So what we're gonna do, spray it on there pretty good. I always start at the top first just because everything falls down underneath, so you might as well start on the top. I will say, if the motor is already warm, spray it on even heavier, and make sure to spray it down right after you're done. That way, it doesn't dry up as fast. Now this has been sitting for a while, the motor's cold, so I'm all right. I'm just gonna do the whole thing at once. I will take the little brush and go over it like you just saw me do there to get the stubborn stuff that was harder to get off. And while you're here, it's a good time to get the cowl tail. Alright, we got it all brushed off. Let's spray it off. Now my pressure washer is very powerful, so I'm not going to go very hard in here because I don't really have to. So just a recommendation, if you do have a heavy PSI water, don't spray it too hard in your motor. If you have a carburetor, make sure to cover it up. Alright, engine's done. Let's move on to the wheels. Alright, now we're going to approach the wheels the same way we did the motor. We got our degreaser in the high pressure container. We have our brush right here. Now I could use wheel acid, but in this case I'm not going to use it because most of you cannot get wheel acid. So let's give it a whirl, see how it goes. Now I'm going to do up inside the wheel well, get that real good. I'm going to spray the tire. Get that really good as well. And then I'm going to work on the wheel. I'm going to spray each individual little hole in the wheel. And then each strut, or each spoke, and then inside the lug nuts, I'm going to let it sit for a minute. Now, also in this bucket, I have degreaser and water. We'll see if I can do it without having to break out the acid. Now your front wheels are usually going to be worse than the rears, as in the case with this car. So there are a couple spots where I'm going to have to get a little harder on here. Just not working with the brush. These fine long brushes get inside of these lug nut holes pretty good. So now I do have a steel brush that I'm going to try it with. I don't really like to use that on these. I can't get it with my thumb, so I am going to hit it with acid in that couple spots up in here as well. Pretty much just all those spots. I'm just going to hit it. Probably will not have to do that on the rear, but I do have to do it on the front. That wheel acid helped at all. Seemed to help a little bit. Let's spray it down. There, guys, looks pretty good. A little bit up in there. I don't know what that nick in there. A little bit up in here yet. I don't know if I'm actually not too worried about that. Like I said, it's got 166,000 miles on it, so looks pretty good for that. I mean, I could sit here and spend a couple of hours on it, but I'm not going to. All right, this wheel's done. I'm gonna get to doing the other three. All four wheels are done. Now, I did notice something. I did come back and finish off this wheel. What I did notice is that there is a lot of road paint up in here, yellow road paint. Some up in here. Don't see too much down the car, which is okay. I'll get that with the clay bar anyway, but getting up in there is a pain. So what I think I'll do is, before I compound and wax it, I'll just spray some matte black spray paint up in there just to get rid of it. It's the easiest way to do it. Now I spray out the jams first to see if I even need to mitt them when I'm mitting the car down. These jams are pretty good, so probably will not have to do that. See how I just got all that dirt from under here? A lot of dirt lays in on that weather strip. I like to come in here on these weather strips as well to get leaves, those little spinny things. We had a lot of those this year, so get them out of there too, or push them down inside to the bottom of the door. A lot of dirt lays in here on your moldings. A lot of dirt, tar, stuff down here, so we'll get to that here shortly. Come back to this door.
Shut up and sit down.
And I'm not worried about getting the interior wet. In fact, I'll only get it just a little bit wet, like right in here, maybe a little bit on the seat. I'm not worried about that because I'm going to be doing the whole interior anyway. I won't come up here and I won't come up here because then you're just asking for a mess. All right, now time to go to the other side.
Shut up and sit down.
I don't know if you saw, but there was a little beehive right there, a little hornet's nest. I'm not gonna lie, you get wet. And don't forget about in here. I mean, she pretty much works out of the back of her car. All of her cleaning supplies and everything are back here, so she's in this thing a lot. So, good part about this, you can just take your hand and just wipe the dirt, whatever is left in here, which wasn't too much. Mostly down here, if anything. And then just hit it again.
Romantic, isn't it?
The engine's degreased. The wheels are done, the car is sprayed off. Now, what I'm going to do next is, I'm going to degrease the whole entire vehicle, and then I'm just going to mitt it off, and then I'm going to rinse it off.
Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
the car's rinsed off, the engine's degreased, the car has been mitted, the wheels have been done. It's time to move on to the interiors. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you know what to do. Stay tuned for part 2. And as always, see you in the next one.